Hello there, it is 6 p.m. local time in Hanoi and you're tuning into VTV News. Let's now take a look at the headlines for this hour. Vietnam and the Customs Union conclude the sixth round of FTA negotiation. And later on, amid the tension in the EC, press fights for the country's sovereignty. We'll now begin with the bulletin with the top news happening here in the country. The sixth round of the free trade agreement negotiations between Vietnam and the Customs Union of Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan took place in Sochi of Russia from the 16th to 20th of June. The Vietnamese Minister of Industry and Trade, Vũ Huy Hằng, and the Eurasian Economic Commission Trade Minister Andrei Slavnev hosted these negotiations, accompanied by 8 other working groups from both sides.
During the negotiations, terms regarding customs cooperation, rules of origin, and intellectual property were shortened. The parties also worked towards reaching a consensus on terms regarding open-door policies for goods, services, and investments in order to bring mutual benefits to both parties.
There are only a few problems with the proposal terms, and we are working to reach a compromise that will benefit both parties. We can firmly say that the sixth round of the negotiations made significant progress and added decisive factors for future negotiations.
After the establishment of the Euro-Asian Economic Union last May, negotiations became much easier, especially for legal-based terms.
The Euro-Asia Economic Union will work to speed up negotiations because the FTA agreement is significant to economic cooperation between Customs Union and Vietnam.
The seventh round of negotiations will take place from September 15 to 19 in Russia. The negotiation process between Vietnam and the Customs Unions of Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan will conclude at the end of this year.
Further to the many efforts it has already made to assist damaged business after the recent unrest in Bình Dương province, the local People's Committee continues to work with investors and businesses in the province in order to solve problems regarding insurance and compensation, helping them to return to normal operation and regaining foreign investors' trust.
Megasteps Electronics Vietnam Limited Company, an electronic parts manufacturer who suffered heavily during the recent unrest, is working with Bình Dương People's Committee to return to normal operation. Currently, most of its facility and supplies are still under seal pending the insurance investigation.
The insurance investigations is going very slowly. To solve the problem, we are working with the Ministry of Finance and insurance companies to assist local businesses. Tax and custom offices has been asked to work with the insurance companies to help businesses conclude this in a timely manner.
Recently established policies such as tax reductions, VAT returns, and extended credit limits have helped the damaged businesses in Bình Dương resume operations, however. Now it is claiming insurance that most businesses are facing difficulties.
We are thankful for the help from the government bodies of Bình Dương province. Their assistance policies have helped us overcome the difficulties in finishing off the insurance process. We have total trust in the investment environment here and will do our best to resume operations this July.
After the recent unrest in May 2014, Bình Dương province has assisted 37 local businesses who suffered $14 million in damage. Areas of assistance include construction, tax, customs, resource management, and social insurance.
The Bank of Development and Investment of Vietnam, or BIDV, will lend $53 million to the Laos government for a road construction project that will connect Tha Lo and Sam Tay of Hủa Phăn province in Laos. Now, a credit contract signing ceremony took place between the two parties on Friday in Vientiane of Laos. According to BIDV, the term of the loan is 15 years with a favorable interest rate. The 67-kilometer highway will reach the Vietnam-Laos border in Thanh Hoa province and will continue on to Nghi Sơn port. The new highway is a major boon to the economic development, national security, and trade between the two countries.
Vietnam's varied charms are boundless. They will awaken your senses to astonishing wonder. From sight to sound, from smell to taste, you will be touched in ways you've never thought possible. Vietnam is so charming, one visit is never enough.
You're back here on VTV News. Today, June 21st, journalists nationwide are celebrating the Vietnam's Revolutionary Press Day. On this very day, 89 years ago, President Ho Chi Minh established the Thanh Niên or Youth newspaper, laying the first brick in the foundation of Vietnam's revolutionary press. Since then, Vietnam's Revolutionary Press Day has been celebrated every year to promote the role and social responsibility of the press, tighten the relations between journalists and the public, and solidify the party's leadership of journalism. In a Thursday meeting with press agencies, Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Đức Đam conveyed the Prime Minister's appreciation to the journalists who have stood alongside the government. Mr. Đam called journalism a useful tool in uniting people as well as in enforcing guidelines and also policies of the party and government. He expressed his hope that the press agencies would continue to accurately reflect the events of society. Now, in recent weeks, many reporters and journalists have visited the Paracel archipelago. 20 reporters have been embedded there in order to record the latest images from around this troubled location. The reporters are all very young and enthusiastic and are struggling on the press battlefield in order to contribute more towards the protection of the country's sovereignty.
From the hotspot of the Paracel Islands, the latest news has been regularly sent to the public ever since the first days of China's illegal operation of its drilling rig within Vietnamese waters. For reporter Viễn Sự from Tuổi Trẻ newspaper, his journalistic role in the Paracel Islands is more than just responsibility, it's an honor.
In this trip to Paracel Islands, the many other reporters and I are working more like Vietnamese citizens than regular reporters. It's different from previous stories of breaking news, as well as the latest information from around China illegal drilling rig. We are also recording the human interest stories of Vietnamese journalists as normal citizens.
The smile of a 70-year-old fisherman in Quảng Ngãi who is determined to stay at sea, the enthusiasm of a young politician who forgot his seasickness to complete his mission, and colleagues who regularly reported the news and became bridges of information for the viewers at home. These are the images that will remain imprinted in the reporters' minds. Each strong-willed reporter has become a soldier on the media battlefield. The latest information and photographs from here are important items of evidence showing China's illegal and aggressive actions toward Vietnamese forces, which will inform the public opinion, and in particular, will sway international opinions.
I highly appreciate the dedications of reporters and marine police, as well as the fishery control force. They have worked really hard to bring the latest and the most accurate information to audiences. Journalists use camera as their weapons. They are also Vietnamese soldiers. They use the report and pictures to protect the country's sovereignty.
From now until China withdraws its illegal drilling rig, reporters will keep accompanying the fishermen and marine police to complete their media mission. In Vietnam's Paracel Islands, the work of these reporters is not only part of their responsibility, it is also a way of confirming the country's sovereignty.
Now, an event took place on Friday to confer a number of awards to Vietnam non-governmental organizations, and this is for their accountability, transparency, and resource mobilization. These awards were the first of their kind, and the idea came about as a result of the work carried out between the Research Center for Management and Sustainable Development, MSD, in cooperation with the Rockefeller Foundation and Irish Aid.
42 Vietnamese NGOs submitted their applications for the awards. The awards process took 8 months, during which time the MSD provided training for NGO candidates on transparency and accountability. The NGOs then submitted their documents, which were evaluated by independent assessors. Phạm Kiều Anh, founder and CEO of the Center for Social Initiative Promotion and one of the 12 finalists, shares her opinion about the awards.
Practicing transparency and accountability is a responsibility of all social organizations. It's also the most important principle of our organization. The awards can play a crucial role in promoting transparency and accountability.
According to the founders of the award, in the current context, transparency and mutual accountability are crucial tools for building strong and sustainable organizations and effective development.
I think it's very, very important, especially in the context of changing donor funding landscape, where as a country, Vietnam is doing increasingly well economically, and therefore the traditional funding sources are changing. So it's of vital importance for NGOs in Vietnam.
The awards were not only a competition among NGOs, they were also a process in which NGOs were judged on their competency, operations, and sustainable development. The idea was to inspire NGOs and multi-stakeholders to promote and practice transparency.
The Vietnam NGO Awards 2014 rewarded the best 3 organizations, and beside the publicity, they will receive 100 million Vietnamese dong, or around $4,700 each. These organizations will also be eligible to participate in global awards and international competitions for NGOs organized by the Resource Alliance.
Before wrapping up our news bulletin now, let's take a look at your updated weather forecasts. And that wraps up this bulletin of VTV News. Thank you for tuning in, and do log on to vtv4.vn for more updated news. Goodbye for now.